and welcome to Contrast. I'm your host, Lexi Tenney, joined today by our other hosts, Mike Jones and Peter Del Tondo. And we have the most pink-tabulous guest today. I am so excited to have Kristy Campbell from Pink Pony Creative here. Hello.
Hello, guys. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much.
It.
Just to lay first things first, you are all the way on the other side of the world from us.
I am. And I said to Mike the other day when we did a little intro, well, sort of test podcast, I'm living in the future. You guys are actually living behind. I mean, I think I start most podcasts like this just because it's like a fun fact, because it's Tuesday at 9 a.m. in the morning and it's Monday for you guys.
At 3:37 here on Monday.
Yeah, there you go. So
that's wild.
Lots has happened in the world in advanced.
Do we make it? Do we survive?
Yeah, do we survive? Yeah, hopefully.
It's good stuff. That's wild.
Yeah, I'm in New Zealand.
It's so trippy to me.
You know, it's funny. Like so many people still think I'm American. Where they're really surprised when they hear I'm from New Zealand. They're like, "What? Really?" I'm like, "Do you not tell from the accent? Is the accent does not give that away?"
I love your accent.
It's so rad. I sat in your workshop last year for Creative South, and afterwards I was like, I really have to try to not be picking up the little phrases and things that you would say, because I'm just one of those people. If I hear something, I'll start to imitate it. I don't know if it's a musician thing or my brain just does that, but I was like, don't be a weirdo and come up with a New Zealand accent to talk to her.
You can. I mean, we say some weird things, and I always compare with Americans, when I go to America, things that we say that you guys don't. This is the perfect one, and this is a nice little icebreaker. We say deck, like a veranda, like a house deck. You go and sit on the deck outside. I'm not saying dick.
Okay.
Did you actually think I was?
I 100% thought you were.
That's what
what you're saying. Yeah.
I was waiting for you to be like, we call a pancake that,
D-E-C-K?
or
right. Yeah.
Yeah, DECK. We say it
it does not sound like that. I'm sorry.
I know that's all the Americans love that joke.
It's hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah, all of us were sitting here what is she gonna? What is she doing?
I was like, I don't remember this from that Bluey episode. I didn't talk about this.
I think we need to.
Bleep that out there. No, sorry guys.
No, speaking of things, I love when people talk about things we say versus things y'all say. And have you ever just dropped your accent and try to do American accent? And if so, what does it sound like?
I was going to say, please, for the love of God, don't make me do an accent. I'm really bad at accents. I'm trying to think what I could say. I feel like I can say my name, like Kristy, in an American accent. Because that's what I hear when I go over to America.
I love it.
Well, and even we have different accents just across the US, because we're all remote. And so I'll get on a call with Mike, and by the end of it, I'm talking about oil and saying y'all. But I have I don't. You say words different than I do.
That's fair.
Yeah,
it's drawn out, a little more drawn out in the South.
Yes,
but fun nonetheless.
It's still fun. I still love all the American accents. All great. I can understand everything you're saying. I think sometimes people can't understand certain words that I say from America.
I love it. Cool. I can keep up. It's good.
Oh, good.
Definitely.
For any of our listeners or people that are watching that have not seen your work, first of all, what are you doing? Go find it. Number two, can you just give a quick little intro to you, your agency, what you do, just for those people that might not know you yet?
Yeah, so I describe myself as a visual identity designer, founder of Pink Pony Creative, an international speaker, and a creative cowgirl. That's pretty much my title. But basically, I started this business, Pink Pony, which is I'm sitting in the office almost 6 years ago. I started it as a 100-day design challenge that turned into a business because I just started getting inquiries. Yeah, it was very cool. I had no intention of it being a business. And then it just slowly happened like that. And then, I started growing a team. And now I've got a team of, I think there's eight of us. How many of us are there?
It's amazing.
Which is awesome.
All in-house?
No, there's 5 of us, 5 of the girls in the team here in the office, and then I do have 2 remote. So yeah, it's very
women?
cool. All women.
That's
it's
awesome.
funny. Yeah, I like that response because I have gotten negative responses about it being an all-woman team before. People say,
it's awesome.
Have you not hired, why haven't you hired any men? And then my reply is, would you ask the same question if I was a man to an all-man team?
There you go.
That, right
they
there.
Probably wouldn't.
There you go. Yeah, they wouldn't.
But anyway, to be honest, I didn't do it intentionally. It just happened.
Yeah.
And the talent that I'm looking for seems to be in women. It's not, if I found the right man, I would definitely hire him. I've got men contractors on my team, basically.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No,
We're getting too quick.
No, I love it. I definitely wanted to ask about that of, this tends to feel like a male dominated industry. And I am totally new to the design world, but in other times and seasons in my life doing different careers, different professions, one of which being drums, it was always like, oh, well, you're a girl drummer or you're a female drummer. Do you tend to feel that in the design world of like, oh, you're a female designer? It almost has a bite to it, because I feel like you just are in this space like, yeah, and my whole team is women and we have a giant pink horse in our office and we're here, we're loud.
Yeah. Well, I've never found it an issue or anything. I noticed, I remember the first time I went to Adobe Max and even going to Creative South. Actually, Creative South is the perfect example of this. I knew there was going to be more males there, but then when I got there, I was like, holy hecka. I'm this blonde girl wearing pink in this sea of men with tattoos and beards. And I'm like, I feel I didn't feel out of place because everyone was so lovely. And I can kind of talk to anyone. I didn't feel out of place at all, but I was like, wow, I do probably stand out like a bit of a sore thumb here. Because everyone
it was in a good way though. In a good way.
Yeah. But everyone is so lovely. So all the guys, although they may look intimidating from afar, if you didn't know them, so lovely.
Everyone's big
couldn't be nicer.
Yeah. It's
very cool.
That's hilarious.
I do love it. Is,
man.
It's like there's definitely a design, I wear the hat, I have the beard, I have the tats. You're like, yeah,
yes.
You're a designer. I could tell in the airport when I was flying in, I was like, those guys are going to Creative South.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And to be honest, when I think about it, most of my top inspirations are actually male designers and male driven teams. Lincoln Design Co. is probably my
love them
goal agency, kind of everything they do. I'm just obsessed with. I love the way they do business. They're really professional, but they're really casual. They're just so on their own wavelength. I'm it's everything I want to be, but I'm the aesthetically completely different. Oh my God, my mum instincts are full on. I just heard a baby crying and I feel like it was probably the tiniest cry.
Miles is in the other room. It's so weird how that turns on, right? You're
it's
all of a sudden
crazy. Yeah. It goes through your veins. It goes through your veins. But you're it's so weird how, for me, most of my inspirations are male.
Yeah.
It's quite crazy. I do have female, not saying I don't look up to female designers. There's definitely females out there that I look up to, but males hugely dominate my inspiration.
Does it blow your mind that with that mindset that you are, or that you've become in such a short time, one of those women that other female designers are looking up to?
That gives me goosebumps. Do you see that, Mike? Because I don't know. I part of me knows that people are inspired by my story and our agency and the work we do, but you really don't understand the impact of it until you meet people.
Sure.
At Adobe Max this year, this one lovely girl, she came up to us and even saw our lead designer Gabby and our accounts manager Livy first, and she just burst out crying. And the girls were like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I'm so starstruck by you guys." And then yeah, and I was like, see, you guys are just as cool. And then she saw me as well, and we were chatting, and she just couldn't stop crying. And she was like, I'm just so inspired by you guys. And that's when you obviously realize how much of a bigger impact you're having. And I think that's not necessarily, it doesn't matter how many followers you have or anything. It's the overall impact you have on people. And you only truly see that when you meet them. Creative South was perfect. I couldn't believe, I was so overwhelmed in an amazing way by the response I had, especially from, there was this really big group of beautiful uni students, this group of women, And they were just like so excited to meet me. And I just couldn't believe that. Like it felt really surreal. And they had awesome questions. They were like, I want to do what you're doing like one day. And it's very cool to to be that person, I guess, for others. But it doesn't feel real at the same time.
I think that's something that it doesn't matter where you are in your career. Everybody, because we all have imposter syndrome at some level. And I think something that I've loved seeing at Creative South, because it's happened to me, I've observed it happen to other people where, we're just talking in a group and someone comes up and to someone in the group, they have that starstruck moment. And then the person will leave and they'll go, I'm not anybody. What do you mean? And it's like, but you're somebody to somebody else. Totally. And so you never know who it is out there that you've inspired. And that could be something with your work. It could be something about your personal life, how you conduct yourself, just things about you as a person. And so it's nice to see that in a way that ironically is like humbling of like, you never know who you might be inspiring, even though you don't think of yourself in those ways. And again, you just have to get out and either talk to people online or meet people at events. And it's really cool watching people have that unexpected reaction of like, wow, I don't know, something I made or something I did or something I said impacted somebody. I had no clue. It's fun.
It's why we need more FaceTime. Like we're not supposed to be like, we do this, but out of necessity because you live on the other side of creation.
So far away.
You know what I mean? But like, we need more of this on a daily basis with people that do what we do. Building community and that sense of community is so important to me. And that's why, having those events and being able to go to those events and things like Max and Crop and, obviously Creative South, like, are so important.
You feel so like, I remember coming away from Creative South because it has such a family feel, like so overwhelmed, like as people say, like my heart was full, like it really was like, awesome. And it wasn't about the people who came up to me and like were like, oh, I'm so inspired by you. It was like all the connections you make and like just the conversations you have, because everyone's so passionate about the same thing and everyone's got a similar drive. Like we all want to just make cool stuff and like, work with cool people. It's awesome.
Definitely.
Highly recommend. This is a plug for Creative South people. Highly recommend going.
Hey, we'll take it.
I did not pay her to say that. Okay.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
But I'm curious, like, because you did come on the scene and it was just like, boom, and then you blew up. And I know you said you came out of this challenge and the next thing you know, like now you have an agency, you have 8 employees, and like, what was it like to go from like 0 followers to now you're just,
it's funny. Like I so don't look at myself or the journey like that at all. Like I definitely have like, I've done things I didn't expect I'd ever get a chance to do. That's for sure. But New Zealanders, we have this thing called tall poppy syndrome. Have you guys ever heard of this?
No, man.
No.
Okay, so it's like basically in New Zealand, everyone's really chill, and it's like if you get too big-headed, people are like, no, you can't be big-headed. Come down. Like we need you down here, and it's called tall poppy syndrome because I don't even know where it came from, but it's kind of a bad thing. Like it's like no one wants you to become like too big-headed. I mean, no one really wants
anyone to keep you humble and grounded.
They keep you humble. Yeah, very much so. But I often find like when I go to Americans are way more like, you're doing, I don't know, like, yeah, you're doing so good. Like, keep killing it. Amazing. Look at all your followers. You're famous. Like, I've been told I'm famous so many times in America, but then back here, there's no way I'd ever be called that.
Which
I don't claim I am.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, it's an interesting difference between New Zealanders and Americans. But no, I like starting the journey. Like I worked for like in the industry for other people for like 7 years, just working, and I would never worked in an agency, and I only ever thought the work that I was doing was kind of like it, and it was kind of mundane work. Like when I look back, I'm like, God, I can't believe I'd spent 7 years doing that. But then in the moment I was like, this is great. Like this is so creative. But looking back, I'm like, God, no, I was basically just, someone else had created a brand and then I was rolling it out, which is quite not creatively exciting. But like
it's production, but it's necessary.
Totally. Yeah. And the work we do now at Pink Pony, like obviously there's stuff in there that is a bit more day to day, but mundane, but like some of the briefs we get and the brands we work for. I'm just like, I can't even believe that we get to do this stuff. It's so cool.
I was to say, I mean, it's interesting having started an agency without the agency experience. Like what maybe like pain points or growing pains did you guys have from that? Because usually it's like my usual question with that is like, oh, what did you like through your agency experience? What did you dislike that helped you kind of create your agency? How did that kind of evolve to where you guys are now, coming from a different background?
Yeah, two things come to mind. One, like, because I had no agency experience, I came into this so freshly minded that I did whatever worked for me, which I think is actually such a beautiful thing. Like, I really just was like, this is working. Let's just keep doing that because I think it's working for me. So obviously I'm doing something right. But then it also was kind of a bad thing because I would question myself a lot. Like, is this what we're supposed to be doing as an agency? Is this what other agencies are doing? Like, I didn't even know how to manage client work or manage systems ever. I didn't even know what a system was. And I, as a business owner now, know systems are like so imperative. Like, to build a successful system and to grow successful business and to grow, you need systems, especially when you hire people, because you need those people to be able to jump in quickly and kind of do the work without like asking a million questions to the boss. Like, no one wants that.
We were just talking about that the other day.
Oh yeah. And I feel like now I've realized I'm actually quite good at creating systems. Quite proud of my systems I've made. But like, sorry, Lexi, you go. Keep cutting you off.
I was just going to say, even hearing that, right, that there's still growth, like in different areas of your business expertise as you build this agency. I think it's encouraging to hear, number one, for maybe the other business owners that are like, okay, well, I just feel like I'm plateauing, or I'm just kind of doing the same thing day in, day out. It sounds like you have a real love for not just the work that you're doing, but the way that you're helping your team do the work that they're doing.
Yeah. And I think like something to, like, if anyone wants to grow an agency, like I still compare myself all the time. Like, yeah, like you said, Mike, it's natural for us to do so, and like it's imposter syndrome. But I think something I've realized as well is no one really knows what they're doing. Even big agency owners are kind of winging it. Like they don't
That's
really.
So true.
I remember I had an issue with a staff member that's not with us anymore about some pay, and pay is always like a hard thing to talk about. And I'm so bad at confronting people. It was a difficult time for me. And I actually ended up calling an agency owner, who like owns quite a respectful agency in New Zealand. And he didn't even know the answer to my question. He was like, I don't know. Like, I can't tell you what the best advice is here because I don't know what I would even do. And I was like, no one knows what they're doing. Like, they truly don't. So just like trial things, do whatever works, see if it sticks. And if it's starting to like get the ball rolling, then you're like, oh yeah, there's something must be working here. But yeah, like I doubt myself a lot in that regard because I think I haven't had the experience. But yeah, it does also help me in some ways because I'm just doing what I think is working. That's why like I've probably gone into my own lane completely. I don't know, like if I had agency experience, if my business would be the same, or even if I'd like done what I do now. Yeah, it's an odd thing to think about.
Yeah, but it's very cool to watch yours unfold like it has, and it's nice.
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't want to do anything else now in my life. Like, people have asked me, "Would you sell Pink Pony?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't think I ever could." Like, yeah, it's like so me, and I just love everything about it. Yeah, it's the best.
Is the culture an extension of you, of your personality?
I would say so. The girls are right there, so I could be like, "Hey, girls, what do you?" I would say so. I think what I've come to realize is I am quite I'm quite a bubbly person.
No way.
Who would have known? I do get quiet. I am like, there's moments where I'm quiet, but like I think I've naturally tried to pull that into the agency as well. But I've got a very hardworking team. They all very much just like get on with all the work. And sorry, someone just coming through the door. Hi, Dal. It's very relaxed.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah. Like, I think it's I haven't like tried to strategically do certain things about the culture, I guess, but I've just tried to build an environment where everyone feels like they can ask questions and learn. And I don't want anyone to ever feel intimidated. Like that was the worst thing starting other jobs and sitting there and being so nervous to ask a question, or even to be so nervous to be like, what do you think of my design? And even like in design, it's a work in progress. And I was so nervous when I was employed by other people to be like, hey, look, what do you think of this? But just know this isn't the end product. Because when people look at something and they're like, there's so many things I would change about this, like this detail, that detail. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not the finished product. Like, I'm just overview. What do you think? Like, tell me, give me your feedback.
Yeah.
And I want
Initial
my team.
thoughts.
Yeah, I've wanted my team to make sure that they feel comfortable with being like, what do you overall think of this? Like, is there concepts you like? But I know it's not the end product. I know it's not finished. So don't worry about the details. Sorry, I went on an absolute tangent.
Yeah, it's one of the most important things, I think, for creative teams and as a business owner to foster that within the culture of things, where you need people to speak up and say, hey, I don't know, I don't understand. Or like you said, just whatever the question is, to be able to ask it. Because to me, that's a strength. Often people think asking questions or not knowing an answer is seen as a weakness. And I look at it, if you fail to ask those questions, and then I watch you struggle harder, or the project, or, everything kind of has the ripple effect. It's actually a big weakness that you didn't speak up about it. Questions should be something that, like, cool, let's talk about it. Let's find an answer, solution, or whatever. And then everybody is better because of it. And I've seen that firsthand of, workplaces that don't have that kind of community and culture, and it's really has a big impact and ripple effect into the business. So it's so key to, like you said, it's just hire good people, not just people that do the talent of work, but just good people. And I think that culture just kind of naturally comes out.
It has at ours. Yeah, I mean, Heyo's
Exactly.
that way. We've hired great people, and the culture just kind of built itself. But there is value also in being asked a question and going, I have no idea. And but I'm going to find out, and I'm going to get back to you. Like, you can be just be upfront about it. Like, I really don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to get you an answer.
And it's crazy. I remember in my first few years after university, you just want to show people what you can do, and you want to be full of knowledge. And saying that I would never have said that. I would have never said to anyone in those first few years, I don't know the answer to this. But I always encourage my team, if they're on a call and with clients and they don't know the answer, I just say the best thing to say is, I don't know, but I will find out. Let me get back to you.
100%.
And that is so important. And it's okay to not know everything. But I remember people making me feel like I needed to know it all. And it makes you it's not good for your mental health, I have to say. It's
not. Yeah. And I remember back in college, you were like, I'll just make something up. Yeah. And if it's right or wrong, I'm going to at least have something to say. And now, if I don't know it, I don't know, but I'll find out. It's a smarter play, in my opinion.
I agree. And my dad always taught me that, especially you do a big speaking session, and at Adobe Max, they have questionnaires at the end, like a Q&A. And there will be some questions where I do not know the answer to, or I'm so nervous that I just freeze and I cannot think on the spot. So I'm always
your brain just short circuits. Yep.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure. Let me get back to you. Yeah. But no, it's, I love having the team, and it's crazy. I remember I never intended to hire anyone. I only wanted to be a freelancer because I didn't like confrontation. I was happy on my own sort of thing. And, I was building the team naturally without really, it just sort of happened because we got busier. And then when I had my son earlier this year, this is when the big pivot moment for me happened. I was like, wow, I am so thankful to my own self that I've grown this team, because now I'm able to step back, still have everything turning, take the time off. We're still making money. We're still pulling in client work. We're still rolling it all out, but I'm able to do it with basically being on maternity leave. So it's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I do want to ask, as a mom to mom, we're both first time moms. I'm out here wondering how you are doing what you do. Not just running an agency. You're so active on socials, and you engage with people very regularly via, social media and email and all these other things. You went to Max, and just how are you having that work-life balance built into your life? Because that's something we talk about a lot, is you know, we of course we love what we do, but we also have families and lives, and it's not just that we're gonna career our way until we die. There's life to be lived in between those work hours. What does that look like for you?
Again, without my team, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like that's totally pretty much the reason why, like, we look so, because we are so busy, is because of them. Like, they are keeping the ball rolling, especially now. Social media, I'm doing a lot of reposts, loads of reposts at the moment. Even I've started doing these like kind of animated like videos, and I just create these slides, and then I've got someone who animates them. And it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but like it helps me keep showing up to social media, so, which is great. And then do you know what I've realized, especially becoming a mum and having a business, is just expectations overall. Like, although you want to keep striving to have these, you know, take these goals and smash them and et cetera, I realized quickly with a baby, like I would be like, okay, I'm going to try and do this today. And then I realized the baby was crying or like having a bad day, and I wouldn't get something done for work, and it would make me feel quite down. I'd be like, oh, didn't get that done. That sucks. But now I've just come to realize it's expectations. It's not I need to get that done today. It's if I get that done, that would be nice. And that's like, it's so much easier to roll through life like that. Obviously there's things that you've got to kind of put your foot down and get done on certain days. But yeah, it's so hard with a baby. Like, you just, I was like, yeah, I'll be able to do some work while he plays. Not really. Like, you can't concentrate. Like, you need help. You need extra hands. And that's the thing. It's my team, but it's also my mum who helps, you know, week on week with Boston, and she comes in, takes care of him for a few hours, and I can do work. But yeah, it is a challenge trying to do it all. But I'm learning how to do it all, you know?
What are some of the things that you found, not just now being in mom mode, but like over the years? What have you had to like delegate, or I always like to say, like, for me, I have to figure out the next area I'm going to replace myself. So, you know, it's like I used to be much more on top of the creative direction and oversight of projects. And then it was like, I can't do that and these other things I need. So I have to bring in my replacement for that. And I've had to replace myself, you know, several times along the way. I'm working on the next one now. Like,
we're trying to clone him.
It's a good way to work.
Yeah. What are the things that you found you've had to bring someone in to help so you could do the next thing and focus on the business?
Well, like, as a designer, like, I'm a designer. I have no management experience. I mean, I do now, but like nothing. I've done no training, nothing. I've just gone into it day to day. But like, hiring a designer was relatively easy. You could see their portfolio and be like, yeah, I can literally tell if they're a good designer or they're not. So that was quite easy. And then I got to the point where I think I had like 4 designers on my team, and then I was the only one who was project managing everything, doing feedback, also doing like accounts. I was doing a lot, and also trying to run 4 designers in my team. And it was getting really hard. I was like, I cannot physically do this anymore. I was like, I think I need to bring someone else in that isn't a designer, will help me with, you know, my books, my accounting. So I did that. And then I decided I needed a project manager. And that was really hard to do, because I was now looking for someone who basically just sent through their CV with experience. And someone could lie through their teeth on a CV about what they can do. And you would just have to take your word for it. Yeah, you can call their references and stuff, but they could still present themselves in a meeting, like in an interview with you, very differently than how they actually work day to day. And I went in to like hire a full-time project manager. I found someone who I thought was quite great. And then something really interesting happened. And I'm going to talk about this. I don't know if I've ever spoken about this on a podcast. It's more of like management thing, but it was an interesting experience. This girl was great. So if she hears this, I'm like, but she was awesome. And I was like, I'm pretty much going to give her the job. Like, I loved what she did. She did all these great things. And then one day I get this Facebook message from her, and I don't know her from a bar of soap. Like, we're not connected mutually at all.
Never heard that one. That's the
new
New Zealand phrase
ever.
That's awesome.
A bar of soap. I've never heard that one before.
Bar of soap. Oh my God. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, that's something we say. So I don't know her from a bar of soap. I didn't realize that was even an expression that I say, awesome. But here we are. And then she messaged me on Facebook personally. And it was like a personal joke about something we'd said in the meeting. And that just hit so different for me because I was like, she's gone out of her way to find me personally on Facebook. It just felt like this barrier had already been broken of boss versus employee. And I was so aware of that because I had instances in the past where it didn't work out for me because I got too friendly with the person. And I'm really good at that because I just want to be friends with everyone. So, and I learned from this certain thing that to not be too friendly with your team. And anyway, so this girl, she Facebook messaged me and that felt like she'd already crossed this boundary. And I was like, this just feels wrong now. Like I can't hire this person. So I've gone on another tangent. And as someone on social media too, like there's definitely a line that you don't want people to cross quickly. Like you're like, that's just felt a little bit odd. And so I actually didn't follow through with her because of that reason. Because I was like, I just think it's too already boss versus friend. Anyway, where I was going with that conversation, I don't know. I'm like, what was the question? I always do this on the podcast on Fuse. I forget the question. What were we talking about?
Just
oh my God.
Talking about, I'm going to try and follow the line of management.
It was
where you replace
people.
yourself.
Anyway, where I was going. So I decided to not hire a full-time project manager. Then I realized how desperate I was for it because I was having a baby. And I was like, there's no way I can be the project manager while I have a baby. So I ended up hiring my sister part-time. So she does an awesome job. But again, it's really hard to let go of all those responsibilities and that control because you just have to realize like you probably do it at 100%. Someone else's 80% is going to be enough and they will learn. And then now, although, it took a while for my sister to learn the ropes, now she does things better than me. She is way better at communicating than I ever was with clients. They often say the communication on this project has been amazing. And I used to take days to reply. So it's all about finding people who can do better, like do just as good as you because they will learn to be better if you drive them in the right direction for sure.
Yeah. And no issues with working with family?
No.
Versus, because you were making like, a management friend boss situation. Now you've got your literal
so
sister.
Like, let me bring my sister in instead.
I completely contradicted myself. No, that's such a good question.
But I was curious.
No, that's a great question, actually. You're so right. Well, funny because me and my sister are like best friends and my personal friends actually were worried about me bringing on my sister because they were like, could this turn bad because you guys are so close? What if there's something that goes wrong? But you know why I think it does work now is because she doesn't live in the same town I do. I do think we do work very well now. Like we had our times growing up that we didn't get along, that's for sure. But like we're best friends. And now because she's also in another city, like I had to fly to see her, that probably helps in a way. Like we do get that break time. I think we are good at separating work and business. There's probably been one time where we were just a little bit like not fighting, but like conflicted in a very brief moment. And then we're very quick to apologize to each other and like put it to the side, which is awesome. I don't think there would be anything that would come between us now. I don't think that would cause an issue in the business, but Anyway, that's kind of funny you mentioned that. Yeah. Well, it's a good call, actually. Fair enough.
It's super fun because like Peter's one of my best friends.
I was going to say, but she's talking about don't work with your best friends. I'm like, these two.
We work together, like we're best friends. And, like I'm Uncle Mike to his whole family and vice versa. But we live in different states and we only see each other like twice a year in person. And it's just a good relationship of, we know how to separate both. Like we can separate our family
you got to put the
versus
guardrails up on things too. So
yeah. And I think that's what it is. Like if you've both got respect of each other, I think where it went wrong in the past with a certain person is I started letting her get away with everything. And then she was kind of, this is another term we say, and I don't think you guys say it, taking the piss. Do you say taking the piss?
We don't, but I've heard it.
I've never.
So
I'm going to start using all this. Like, I'm taking the piss on a bar of soap.
Say. Maybe this should be labeled.
Taking the piss on a bar of soap.
So taking the piss is like, oh my God, how do I even explain it? Like you're taking the piss, like you're like taking them for granted, like for a fool. Like they might. Okay. if you say, I want you to work at 8:30 and then they show up at 9, but they're like, it doesn't matter that I'm late. Yeah.
They're they're taking advantage of the situation.
That's what it is. Yeah. So taking
you got to have
guardrails
in place for that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think, you guys obviously work because you have this mutual respect for each other that you wouldn't do that to one another. But I think it definitely can work for sure.
Also, there's that respect of, we want to see the business grow together. How do we help everybody in the company, right? This is all of our livelihoods, not just mine and not just Peter's or Lexi's or whatever. Just like your sister. Yes, it's your sister, but she's part of this thing and she wants to see it grow because it's everybody's livelihood now and not just hers or yours. There's this, you're vested in the person you love, but also the company that y'all are building.
Yeah,
totally.
Well, that's where, I've got a lot of friends that I'm great friends with. I wouldn't hire them here. You have to hire the right person people. As well.
For sure.
And for us, we really set boundaries. I know Mike and I started working together at a past company and we set this up there and we applied it here as well. But I can't speak into certain things for him. Or if something came up and let's just theoretically say Mike did something and should be fired, I can't come to the defense because I'm not going to be partial to there. I'm not going to be unbiased. Yeah. So I have to sit that out. And he's aware of that. So that way we also hey, I can't protect you from something. So
what'd you do, Mike?
Up.
Gosh.
I didn't do nothing.
But no, we have the same thing. What did he do? We've got Yunji. So Yunji, our motion designer, she's my future sister-in-law. Very specifically didn't hire her for a good long period. We were contracting with her because my brother reached out. He's like, hey, my girlfriend's a motion designer. She'd love to chat with you and have some questions about career direction.
Amazing.
And and it was one of those okay, this is either going to be my brother's girlfriend, sister's cousin's friend kind of thing. And they're either going to be awesome or they're going to be terrible. And we gave her some work that was unlike anything she'd ever done before. But we said, hey, we've got all these needs. We'll pay you hourly for these, see what you do. And she brought back and it was no notes. Everything was perfect. The thought process, we were all so blown away. And we probably contracted with her for 3 months. And then my partner, Rob, here was like, dude, I don't care. We need to hire her. You're just not allowed to be a part of, finances and HR stuff for her. But we need to bring her on. And she's awesome.
She's gold.
So
super gold.
It's just the right boundaries.
Exactly. And I say, to not cross the line, but there is, friendships and things and family, obviously, that work. There's so many family run businesses. My husband's whole business, they've got a team of almost 40 now, is a family owned company. So here I am being don't hire people and, which is ridiculous. Yeah. Cause I've hired my sister. My husband has a whole family business. So yeah, it does work.
I have a second family business. I feel you.
There you go.
I think that example though of that person reaching out, it was clear that there was a vibe that was off. I also think, and I've watched Peter and Rob do this of trusting your instincts as a business owner, I think really isn't something that gets talked about a lot, but I think it's make or break. I think about people that we'd had on the team that were fine. They were fine people but they just weren't meshing with the culture. It wasn't a right fit. And there wasn't anything that was this is so bad, so egregious. This is we got to get him out of here. But it was just, I watched Peter and Rob walk through that. And I really respected the, just the intuition and the intentionality behind the team culture that went into that decision.
Yeah. Trusting your instinct is huge. And even your gut feel with clients, I find, is crazy on point. I've been such a big yes person with all of our clients in the past, which I do think has helped me grow and helped us grow, because then you're just connecting with new people and you're always finding new audiences to work with. But then now I've realized, and my sister's now starting to learn and develop the same gut feel for people. She will get an inquiry and she's knows straight away. She's I just know with the questions they're asking and even the way they word their email that this is not going to be the easy ride. So I don't think we should work with this person. Gut feel is very so
good at discernment.
Yeah, that's a super important skill to have, and it's one too that even if you have the skill, not everybody is at the stage of business where you can afford to say no to work with that client. And so sometimes you put it through, and again, we're really good at it as well. There's always one or two every year that somehow seem to like sneak in and, cause those problems. And the main problem, in my opinion, is more the impact that it has on the team and the stress that they have, because it's like when you get into those positions, maybe where it's like you're working with a client that they hired you because you're the expert, and then don't listen to anything. And you're like,
feels.
I feel really bad taking your money at this point. Like, and I mean, I'll be honest with clients and just say, hey, I think at this point, either listen to what we're saying and why you hired us, or go hire somebody that's really cheap to just do this stuff. Because this doesn't make sense anymore. And when you can afford to say no to clients because, you're booked up enough and everything, it's so much more important to say no to those projects than say yes to the money that comes along with it. I think saying no is the kind of stuff that helps keep the team members that you have and keep turnover, low or non-existent. If people hate the clients that they work with or the projects that they're on, people aren't going to stay.
You know what this is like thinking back to at university when you're like learning design and things, you so think to be successful in your career, you just have to be an amazing designer. But all of this, I'm like, to be a good designer is so much more than design. Design is the smallest part of the whole thing. Really is like just one little piece of the pie. I remember James Marden, made by James, amazing. Again, one of my top inspirations. He's a male, completely different aesthetic, funny. But he said to me, he's probably a better marketer. He's like, I'm a good designer, but I'm not the best designer. And he was like, I definitely am a better marketer than I am a designer, which is why I've been successful. And I think that is true in a way. Like he's just really good at marketing himself. He knows what to say. He knows how to build an audience. I mean, if you're thinking about how to be successful in your career and you're worried if your work is good enough, it's not just about your work. Like it really isn't. Again, I'm not the best designer in the world. You've got to have all these other things working. Like how to market yourself is obviously huge these days with social media. If you can learn that. Even communication, like the simple things actually make a better designer. You could be the best designer in the world. If you're a pain in the ass, no one's going to want to work with you. Yeah.
Clip that, Dave.
All day. Yeah.
That's the socials. You don't want the bar
yes,
soap
that's true.
comment.
So true. Oh my God.
Oh, we'll clip that too. Trust
we're
me.
clipping it.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
And
we're all
the
taking a piss at the
comments.
end.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what's happening.
Taking a piss. Oh my God,
On
you
the
have
deck.
to clip all those. Yeah, taking a piss on the deck. Oh my gosh, that's too good. That's gold. I love that.
What kind of stuff are you most excited about for Pink Pony's future? Like what's the next mountain you're wanting to climb?
Oh, I don't know, like I think people, like my sister said to me once, like, do you want to hire more people? And I was like, oh, it's hard at this point. Like I love having a small team. I love having like a more boutique agency than like keep growing it. I do see benefit in keeping growing it, especially like if I was to have another child, it would be more difficult to be in the business. Like maybe I do need to grow it to do that. But I think I would grow it not on a designer term. I need to grow it like out more. Like I need to hire maybe someone in sales or just to diversify my team. So I'm not filtering, me and my sister aren't the only ones filtering out everything else. But otherwise, like I do, like the client work we do, I'm so proud of who we work with. And like, I think it would be awesome to work with maybe just some bigger clients. Like I've always wanted to work with Disney. I know like Lincoln Design Co. work with Disney a lot. I'm like, give me your contact. Not that he would, but I don't expect him to. But like that kind of stuff would be really cool. And I do have like personal goals with my career too. Like I'd love to do a TEDx talk. It's kind of like a big goal.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be rad.
really cool.
That'd be awesome.
So cool. So like that would be something that would be awesome to do. I've always said I'd wanted to write a book as well. And things have come through for that as well, but it's just finding the right path and time as well. So, but it's, I don't know, growing the team aspect. I'm like, it's just comes with its own challenges for sure. I think it was Magdiel Lopez, who is at Adobe Max. He's an amazing designer, Photoshopper, and he's got an agency. And he was talking about the fact that he grew his agency really quickly to like 30 people in 1 year. And I was like, that's outrageous. Then it just like went out of control, and they realized how much they didn't like it, so they scaled back down to like 7. And he was like, that was the perfect spot. And I was like, I just feel like that would be me. That would probably be what happened to me. I'd grow it quite bigger, and then I'd be like, I don't know if I want to do this, and then scale it down. Yeah, because I mean, with you guys, and how many of you are there? Is it?
We're about 30 now. We're probably going to be closer to 40 soon.
So how are you guys coping? Tell me. Should I do it?
I think the trick has been finding how to keep the small team feel, even though we grow and expand. And I think the thing that I've learned most over the years, because I've done a couple agencies now from 3 to 5 people to 10, and then 15, and then 30, and whatnot, is more often than not, everybody scales without the structure in place. So really, like, we've honestly, even this past year, we didn't hire a lot of times when we probably should have, because we're like, it's going to feel chaotic on the other side if we're not really prepared for this. And that's everything from having, team leads in place. Do you have the right amount of managers? Have you hit a point where your manager can no longer oversee this size staff? Do you need, a manager and a principal or a staff, designer or engineer to go with it? So yeah, it's making sure that we're prepared each time. I think every time go up, I think it's 50% of your size, everything breaks is kind of the rule of thumb. So
I can see why that would happen.
Be kind of aware of that and just prepared. So it's like, okay, hey, we're going to bring in these people. What needs to change in order for that to be smooth? Because a lot of times you can't, just like design or engineering, you can't just throw twice as many people on a project and expect it to go twice as fast. It's not a perfect ratio. So yeah, I think it's making sure again, where to replace yourself or replace other team members. It's something I talk about with all my managers of, okay, hey, I need you to speak up when you feel like there's certain things that you shouldn't be doing anymore or you don't have the time to do. And when that happens, we need to then figure out who's going to be the replacement to start taking those things over, and that we start training them. Like I think for Mike and Lexi, like when Kevin started taking over everything on the product team, we transitioned into that like 4 months before we were fully ready for that role. That way, when the time came, he was good to go and we were off and running. It wasn't like, all right, hey, we brought in 4 more people, go figure this out. Everything was nice and smooth. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. You guys have a big team. Yeah, I could see why it would change so much when you do bring on so many more people. Isn't it also crazy that I'm pretty sure when does a small company become a medium-sized company? Like staff-wise, isn't it like 200 people or something crazy?
I think it's considered 200, which to me is just gigantic.
That's out there.
Like that's a small business. So I'm like, that's crazy. Here I am with seven people. There's 8 of us, and I'm like, God, there's too many of us. It's crazy.
I just wanted to add that I think with what Pete was saying earlier too or what you said earlier, having all those systems in place and growing the systems as you grow the number of people is super helpful. But also communication. Like our whole team, the entire company is remote, right? So we're always chatting on Slack with everyone. Everyone's in constant contact with everybody all day, every day of, I got a question here, and nobody's not available. And then we do 2 stand-ups a week where we get to see everybody's face and connect with them, at least like this. And then we all meet up once a year at Creative South and hang out, and which is nice. So I think you got to have all of those things in place to keep it feeling small, but even with more people, which has been nice to see it grow like that.
I was just actually going to ask about your project management system. What do you guys use?
So we're actually in the midst of changing that a little bit.
So you guys are like, don't ask, it's a headache.
Well, it's a trial and error.
It's good.
It's funny.
It's a good topic.
It's actually the perfect topic for what I was going to jump in and say, and that is that you have to be small enough to where you can be nimble and make the changes based on what works for you. And that changes all the time based on team members. we're starting to build our own products, and we launched 2 new companies in the last 2 years. So like what we want to use systems wise for that actually impacted our decision based on how we do project management with clients and whatnot as well. So we're actually, we jumped into Jira and Confluence, like the whole Atlassian suite, when our engineering team started really ramping up and scaling, and have kind of started switching back into more simple tools. So we went Trello, which we're going to continue to use with some like integrations, because Trello works really well client facing. It's great to give them access to that and everything else. And then we're in the process of moving back into Notion for everything, which on the one hand,
Notion lover.
Can be a simple tool. At the same time, it can also be super complex and complicated. Lexi and I have been doing a lot of brainstorming as we set stuff up, and I have to keep reminding her, like, Notion is super complicated to set up, but should be really simple once fully set up and just
not too bad.
Execute.
It's not too bad.
Mike like missed a huddle this week about us talking about Notion. He's like, what did I miss? I'm like, I don't know. It was Peter and Max saying all these words that are so above my pay grade.
We're building like really complex database connections and stuff. And yeah.
What do you use?
We use Notion as well. Like I think the last thing I used before that was Trello, but that was a while ago. That was like probably, it was maybe just me. And then when I bought on my first designer, I was like, I need something more. Like I do find Trello's like the real bones of Notion in a way. Like it's just the basic dumbed down version, I guess. And then you can do so much more with Notion. Yeah. And like people, I think, underestimate what it can actually do. Like once you really build out the systems, and I only started using like even the tagging feature like maybe 2 years ago, where you can tag your team members and like, at them and you get a notification. Like that is just mind blowing. Like if you make a good system in Notion, it can take you so far. But we don't actually use, which is interesting, we don't actually have a client portal for any of our clients. The only client portal we would technically use, like where the clients see like, what's coming or something like that, would kind of be Slack. Like for our ongoing clients that have lots of work, campaign-based stuff or packaging design, we often open up a whole Slack channel, like a whole
we do
channel
that for every
them.
Project.
Yeah. And then you have like channels within the channel of like certain campaigns, and it just makes it so much easier. It's so good. Is that what you guys do for like a client portal as well?
Yeah, we have an internal Slack channel that's just us to talk about the project, or if we have a third party partner or something in there, or an engineering partner or design partner, we're all in there. And then the client will be in their own channel. That way we can talk with them at all times. And then part of the reason we still like Trello in conjunction with Notion, even though it's just going to be a mirror, is that we can give them access to Trello. They can see every task, the status, timelines, dates, etc. And that, it just gives them peace of mind. I feel like the more you over communicate, the less the client stresses, because if they're going, I don't know what's up next. When's it coming? What are the dates? They're now worried, versus if you're proactive and every stand-up call, here's timelines, here's what we're doing, here's the next thing being delivered, etc. And then they can just log in and see it anytime, or they can go into Figma and see what's being worked on at any time. There's not that stress that clients used to have years ago, where it was like, I don't know what's been done the last 2 or 3 weeks. And they're walking into a meeting, with bigger reveals. But we tried setting up a bunch of stuff in Notion. I would just Notion geek out for a second. There's a limitation if you want to have a shared like team dashboard for all your tasks. You cannot do that without your clients getting access to your entire client list and project list. And
I've thought that.
We work on a lot of NDA stuff that cannot be known or seen. And so it's a deal breaker there. Even the way Notion now does team spaces, if we invite you into the team space, we didn't realize this for a quick second. Luckily, we were just testing it. It also gives the client access to your default team space.
Oh,
so
geez, no.
All of your company information as well. So you have to set up like a dummy team space that is more like, welcome to Heyo, and here's how to work with us, and doesn't have any actual stuff in there. But even then, your clients get to see every other client that has access, and that could cause some problems. So we can't give clients access to Notion.
Yeah, totally. So understandable. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, like communication with clients is actually most of it is through email. Otherwise it is Slack if you've like a bigger client.
okay.
But yeah, like we will send, so like say we're working with a small business on their branding. We'll send out like our brand proposals via email. And I'm always like, is there more like, as someone with no agency experience, I'm like, is there a better way of doing it? But to be honest, sometimes I think that we can overcomplicate the systems for people. And like everyone always has their own internal systems. There's like Notion, we've got Slack, we've got Harvest, we've got all this. And then like if I work with, say, I remember working with a copywriter and she was using this kind of more intense client portal system. And I was in a way, I was like, oh, can we just do it through email? It's just easy. Like it's so easy. I know email. I've got so many systems, other systems. It's just easier for me that way. Do you guys send stuff out like through emails? Is that how you send out stuff to clients, or is it just through Slack?
I hate email with a fiery passion because it's
really?
more likely that things will get lost in email, and then people don't reply all or whatnot, and now we're out of the loop. So we tell all of our clients all communication is in the client channel. Do not DM any members of our team, because now it's not that like you can't have a conversation with Mike. It's just now if Mike and you talked about something
and I don't relay it,
gets lost.
No one knows about it, and we're all out of the loop. So we keep all that communication right there in the main channel. It makes things really easy. We record all of our meetings and stuff. So
and
there's
this
summaries
is on
and
Slack, you mean?
transcripts.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So it keeps it a lot easier, and then we can always search for stuff at any time and things like that. So that works out really well. And then again, keep everything else in Figma and Notion or Trello or whatever tool. I think when we started scaling, that's when we were like, we really have to have a consistent tool throughout the organization. Because in the past, I mean, really and truly, getting creatives to use project management tools is a challenge.
What? We're so easy, Peter. I don't understand what you're saying.
I will use whatever you tell me to use. Okay.
Well, so I have a question because it sounds like obviously you guys have like you use Slack as your main messaging system for clients. Mm-hmm. How many Slack channels do you have?
A lot. Bajillion.
A lot.
What is it, like 100?
Easily over that. But,
more.
What?
But
that's crazy.
But I set up my Slack so that it hides any, it only shows channels when they're unread. So it kind of is more like an inbox zero type feel. And that way, like, you have to respond or deal with stuff as it comes up. But I mean, it's more for managers to be able to see everything. Like for a team is on 2 projects at a time. So they're really only monitoring 2 client projects, 2 internal channels, 2 client facing channels, and then like our team life, random, general chat, stuff like that. So it's not too much, but we used to allow people to use whatever PM tool you wanted. So if someone wanted to use Asana or Notion or Trello, we'd be like, hey, use whatever you like for the project. If that's the tool that you will actually use, go for it. And then it became problematic where it was like managers couldn't go and say, okay, but I don't know the landscape of everything, because now I got to check multiple places. I mean, this was years and years ago, but having one tool that they can go in and just get a landscape view of everything is super helpful.
Yeah. Like one of our clients, who was one of our biggest clients, said, look, we could jump on Slack, but we do everything through Asana. And because they were going to be such a big client, I was like, yeah, we're happy to, do that for you and get
clients like that.
Asana. Yeah. Right. Like we'll jump on yours.
We have to use Microsoft Teams or something, or we had one client recently require us to use Google Chat because they're not
Why
a Slack
would you
team,
say Microsoft Teams out loud? Now our next client is going to ask us to use that.
But most of the time, clients are already in Slack 95% of the time.
Totally.
You're not like teaching them how to use something that they don't know. It's just, I
have another question. Now I'm like, we should have done the whole chat about comparing agencies, like what we all use. Well, how do you feel about Affinity? Like, what are we talking? Are you guys going to jump into trialing using Affinity? Oh, topical, I know.
It's not, no, because I just want to, I'll jump in just for a second. I don't mind it, right? Like I like what they're doing. I like kind of like the direction they're taking everything in, but we're all Figma.
Yeah.
We all build in Figma, everything from brand to, web product, everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brand decks, like you can do everything.
We haven't really used it. I mean, we use Adobe products maybe once or twice a year where we need it for something specific.
You create logos in Figma?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not know that that's what
I
you
will
could use
gladly
Figma
show
for.
you one
That's
day.
how
It's
I
amazing.
felt when I got hired. I was like, what do you mean you're using Figma?
Yeah.
And I came from
What
Adobe
is going
background,
on?
like 20 years of it. And then
But
I had to
doesn't
switch gears
Adobe
and
own
learn.
Figma now?
No,
that
that
fell
fell
through.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, look,
Fell
I'm
through
learning so
in the
much.
tune of a lot of money.
Oh
Yeah.
my
No, I
God.
mean, we haven't, and most agencies that I know haven't used Adobe products in probably like 6 years.
What?
Everybody's all Figma
Because
these
it's real
days.
time.
Yeah.
Wait,
I mean, the
It's
live
like the
collaboration
Google
collaboration and
Docs
stuff is a lot easier.
of design. It's amazing.
Crazy.
Check it out.
So,
and
yeah.
for real,
Oh
check
my
it
God,
out.
interesting.
I mean, we have a couple people that have Adobe licenses purely if there's a Adobe After Effects or Premiere, or even sometimes like we just have a couple like Adobe font subscriptions. But yeah, we
And
really
print.
don't use it.
You got to have it for
Yeah.
print.
Yeah, if you have it, we'll spin it up for that. But
Oh my gosh.
it doesn't make sense for us to pay for licenses for most of the team because we just don't ever use it.
Wow.
I just Slack Mike when I need something in Adobe and I have him do it for me.
Well,
I did that last week. I was like, Mike, I can't open this. I don't have Illustrator right now.
I mean,
like, could-
you just
so
came
could
into
you
one copy,
take-
it's good.
You could you take an Adobe Illustrator like vector file,
All
like
day.
a working
Copy-
file, and
copy
put it into
paste.
Figma?
Yeah.
Oh, you
You
can
just open Illustrator, copy it, paste it in Figma. Now you can't go the
How-
other way. You can't paste from Figma to Illustrator. You got to
How
save
long
it out
did
as a SVG. But
Wow. How long did it take you to learn Figma?
oh my gosh! So when I came on,
Have I learned Figma? No.
Yeah, you're like,
But
no.
I also I'm the newest to Figma out of all of our team. I'm the newest to design, newest to Figma. I'm just the baby here.
I'm still learning like a lot of things, but now I like shortcut keys and like what does what and the language of what things that Figma does are pretty relevant to me now. I think it took me about two and a half weeks to really like feel comfortable in it, to like, okay, I can design in this and I know how everything works, how the tools move. But like at the end of the day, I mean, because I'm I'm a brand guy, right? I've been doing brand for 25 years. The pen tool is the pen tool is the pen tool, right? Like if you can use the pen tool in Illustrator, you can use the pen tool in Figma. It's the exact
Somewhere
same.
else. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a learning curve of like hotkeys and like the layout of things, but all that's pretty standard, and it's a way more simplified tool set than Illustrator's bulky tool set. Not that I'm not knocking it; it's great. It does what it does, but like sometimes I don't need all that. I need to know: can I go and build this nice clean vector? Boom, and now I can scale the brand up, down, whatever.
Every once in a while, there'll be a limitation that does make sense for us to build it in Illustrator. More if we're getting into like more textures and things like that, it makes sense to do. But again, for 95% of clients, everything's in Figma. Most of
That
our
was not the
clients
answer I
are
thought
all
it was gonna
Figma
be.
teams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not going to be trying Affinity?
I mean,
I don't
we've
think we
talked
will.
about it for the years,
I'm
even
gonna
when Affinity
download
was charged. But it was kind of like, why would we pay $600 plus a year for Adobe licenses when we barely use it versus I forget if it was like lifetime licenses or whatever with Affinity. I think again, because our usage is so limited, if someone said, hey, I need to do a little photo manipulation, I could see us saying, hey, let's check out Affinity and see if you can do what you need over here before we go buy an Adobe Creative Cloud license, for that.
Right. Oh, shit, crazy. Topical. They're like such a hot topic on social media.
What about you?
Everyone's talking
Are
about
you
it.
swapping over to it?
Not currently. I mean, to be honest, this is going to sound a bit bad. Like, I just literally don't have the time to trial out a new piece of software.
That's
I think
probably
being a
the
mum,
reason we haven't yet is just we haven't had the time to dive into it.
and you do have to really put the time into like learning a new, because we're so like, I call it unconscious competence, where you're doing things without even thinking about it. Like we could have a conversation, a full-on conversation. I could be
Muscle
designing.
memory on Illustrator.
Yeah, but like, if
Yeah.
I was to go into a new piece of software like Affinity, it'd be tough. I could imagine it'd be like being lost in a big city. Like you're just like, well, what the heck? This is crazy.
100%. Yeah, especially if you've been using it for decades.
Mm.
I was going to say, for some
Totally.
of our team, like if that's all you've known is Figma or Adobe Suite, like doing something new, even if it's a great tool, there's just automatically a time suck to that. I think something that I really love about our team, though, we do client work Monday through Thursday, and then Fridays are our internal days. And a lot of that is just design exploration or dev exploration. Now that we have a whole wing of of engineers as well.
The wing.
The wing.
Love that. The wing.
But like they'll use that Friday time to explore a new tool. So like one of our guys found this, like, I can't even explain it, but basically you can make things move on like a website in like a really fun way. And he just went in and explored the tool on a Friday because that's what that's for. So now like we have someone who can use that tool at a greater scale than the rest of us, who can educate us or use it for a client project. And I think that's really cool. And I took one of my Fridays and I usually do like a half day on Friday because me and Mike are also just internal anyways. But I just got in there to be like, okay, what tools do they have that, maybe I wasn't expecting or whatever. And I thought they did a really good job with it. I know there's some things that are still behind a Canva paywall, which I find interesting because they're like, it's free. And I'm like, you're whispering the things that aren't free. But
and I don't know if you guys listened to the Angry Designers podcast. It was the one where they spoke about this and they said something really interesting. Espo was like, it's like a long-term game. Like they're trying to, this is all speculation, but like they're trying to bring in all those like university, college students, people learning design. Oh, it's free. I'm going to use that. And then eventually
that's what Figma did.
Yeah, and then they'll roll out and then and I was like, that makes sense. Like that's, to be honest, a really smart business move. Like you can't be angry at that. I'm like, well, that sounds great.
I mean, that's why Figma had the student plan. I mean, my 10-year-old is in Figma. She's literally creating logos for all of the plays her and her brothers and sisters are in. And it's cool. I mean, she did a lesson with Courtney, our illustrator, and they were designing stuff in real time. And so she sat on Zoom and learned with her, and she loves it now. So I think that's a key thing that the barrier to entry to get into Adobe stuff is harder. And then at least from our side, I have not had a client request we do anything in an Adobe software in probably 7 years.
But did they used to do that? Did people actually used to request that?
I mean, I think it was more the norm, but now it's everybody wants it in Figma specifically.
Okay. We did have a request actually recently from a client to do stuff in Figma, and we did start playing around with it, but then we were to also put it into Canva, and we were kind of just doubling up. So just because they wanted it as an editable, easy template for their client. So it was, doubling up. But like I guess they did request that. So I'm like, maybe we should learn it.
It's tough. I mean, I'll share a spicy story here, but so I was working on a project for Adobe, and Adobe XD, that was the app, which I know is now sunset. But that was a requirement, was to work in there. The app crashed so much on me. I was working on 3 different machines, thinking, okay, what if it's one machine? I was switching around. It got so bad that I was like, I'm never going to get the project done. And so I just ended up doing it in Figma. And then I screenshotted it all, brought it into XD when I was going through the presentations with them. And at the very end of the project, I was like, and at the end, I recreated everything over there. And at the end of the project, I was like, hey, I have to give you guys this feedback. I've done stuff with the XD team in the past, with things on socials and whatnot. I was like, this was such a bad experience. Like as hard as I tried, there was no way I was going to build your project here because the software is crashing nonstop. So I had to build it in Figma. And they went, you are not the first contractor to tell us that. And that gets brought up a lot. So it's tough.
And I know like a lot of friends that
worked at Adobe that have said like the hardest part is having to use Adobe software to build the things that we have to, like, we don't want to use this software. We would rather use Figma or other tools to do. So it's tough.
Yeah,
but that's where don't be relying on your software. It's just a nail that puts a hammer into a board.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
It's true.
Me too.
I want to be respectful of your time. I know that we have to get wrapped up pretty soon here.
I do know. Sorry, guys. Could chat all day.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, you're good. I mean, we would love to have you back sometime. It's always just fun to chat with you. But I know Mike had a brand process question, so I want to let Mike get it out, Mr. Brand.
I have two questions, and you can either answer them both or just whatever you have time for. But I'm curious about when you were, is pink, why pink? Did you just like, you know what? I love pink and we're just going to do this?
Question.
Or were you trying to like, I give Draplin crap all the time. It's like, so orange, orange is your thing.
Yeah.
And everybody knows him for that. And everybody now knows you for pink. Like, why pink? And also do you want to do, is T-Mobile going to be one of your clients someday?
I love that. They should be. Well, when I started the 100-Day Design Challenge, I was like, I'll keep myself accountable with this Instagram page. And I did not think it was going to be a business, but for some reason, maybe in my gut, I was like, this could turn into something. So I wanted to give it a fun name. And I was like, okay, what am I going to call it? And then Pink Pony, I keep coming back to it. I loved pink when I was younger and I loved ponies. And then, so it just had a cool ring to it. I thought nothing of it. I just called it Pink Pony. And then when it came to like me being like, oh, I want to make this a business, I registered the company name. And of course with Pink Pony, I was like, I have to make it pink. It's just inevitable.
Right on.
But so like, it's cool because it's got this tie to my childhood because I loved pink and I loved ponies when I was a child. I was a horse rider for many years. And I think that like gives it this authentic feel because it couldn't be more me because it was me as a child. So there's that. But you know what I think it is? Like same with Aaron Draplin with his orange. People go like, they'll come to me and they're like, oh my God, we love your brand. Like I want you to give me what we have. And then, that didn't make any sense, but you get what I mean. Like they're like, I want you to make what you have for our business. And my brand couldn't be more obvious. It's pink and it's a pony. Like I'm like, there's nothing that smart about it, really. But you know what I think it is? That should be in the next frame too.
Flip it.
As basic as it is, clip it. It's consistency. It's consistency and it's not overdoing it. And like I haven't like chucked a hole at it. It's the font is like Gotham for my logo and I'm so bored of it, but I've been consistent and that is what has made it so good. I think like, yeah,
Consistency
and I think
is key for sure.
It truly is. Like people like switch their colors or like they try and do this. I'm like, if you were just consistent with your color and like plaster it everywhere, trust me, people are going to notice it and remember it. Yeah. Couldn't be more obvious.
I'm
pink
glad to
and
know
there's
that.
a
I was
pony.
always curious why pink for you. And then I love your work. I'm a huge fanboy of your stuff,
thanks,
and follow along. And I love your videos of watching you go from like the client asked for this, and let me show what that looks like. This is plan. I gave you exactly what you asked for, but if we went down this route and you built to it, and you have this kind of process to your work that's really cool, and you have this, it's handcrafted. Kind of this, you're building everything by hand, but also it's very precise in like the mindset of why you did what you did. So can you tell us a little bit about your process and like how you think about like use of color or, the importance of, why colors, different colors. You're big in color. Like if you look into your work, it's very playful and bright and fun. And how that translates. Like, what's your process behind that?
I'll talk on this quickly because I do have to go in a minute. But I actually spoke about this at Adobe Max this year, and I like it, for designers, we do everything with that gut feel. It's like unconscious competence. We don't really think about it. And if someone said to you, explain to me why you do things, you'd be like, honestly, I can't even really it just feels right. I just get a feeling. But like what I came down to the fact is like, it's almost like with the logo design, you have that brand noun process where you write a list of nouns and then you kind of combine things but then we do that on a scale of the whole visual identity. So like you take everything through into all of the little assets. So we think deeper than just like the logo, the color palette, the type. You want to go into like the stroke styles on like an illustration style, or maybe if you're going for that retro effect, you're going to use halftones. So like just adding personality at every single layer. And I think that's what makes our brands so personality packed, is because we've thought about it so much deeper than just like your standard hero visuals, the logo, the color palette, typography. We've thought about a lot of other supporting assets, like your images, how are they framed? Are they curved rather than squared images? Like it's all those little details. But yeah, you could watch my Adobe Max speech. It's online.
Nice. I love it.
Make sure we link it.
A little plug there. But yeah, I could talk about that all day. But I do have to sadly go. Got to head off.
Thank you guys so much for being here today at Contrast Podcast. We appreciate you. Check us out on all the social media outlets. And as always, this podcast is sponsored by PissGuard, keeping your deck clean since 1957.
I love that. I love that
it
so much.